All right, an optimization problem. What's the maximum area of a right triangle with hypotenuse 12? Let's draw the picture. So we don't know anything about the legs, so let's call them x and y. So the area is x times y, and we need another relationship with x and y, and that's going to be using the Pythagorean theorem. Square of the hypotenuse is the sum of the squares of the legs. So let's rewrite area so that is a function of x, which means we'll want to make a substitution in for y. And right here, from the Pythagorean theorem, we can find what y is equal to as a function of x. We'll substitute that in there, and we're well on our way to maximizing this area. So y squared is that, and y is the positive or negative square root of this amount. Okay, let's substitute it in. There we go. And now we can maximize the area by taking the first derivative, setting it equal to 0 to find those critical values, which is where the relative extremum live. We'll ignore negative values since we're only interested in areas greater than 0. And now let's do the derivative. Derivative of x is 1 times the second function plus the first function times the derivative of the second function. 1/2 of that to the negative 1/2 times the derivative of the inside, which is a negative 2x. So when is that equal to 0? When is this expression minus 2x squared over 2, or just minus x squared over that square root? When is this all equal to 0? Let's solve. Let's add this to both sides. Now let's multiply both sides by the square root of 144 minus x squared. And things should be pretty nice after that. On the left, all that remains is x squared. And on the right, we have 144 minus x squared. So 2x squared is 144, and x squared is 72, and x is the square root of 72, or 6 root 2. Okay, we could use the first derivative test and a side chart to show that this is a relative maximum, but that's a waste of time. It's not going to be a relative minimum because we could minimize this area converging to 0. We can just use 6 root 2 for x, find the area. It will be one of these answers. When x is 6 root 2, and y is the square root of 144 minus x squared, what do we get? And that's 6 times the square root of 144, which is 6 times 12, which is 72. Not one of the answer choices. That's pretty funny. The area of a triangle is not x times y. That's the area of the rectangle. So we just found the maximum rectangle, which means we need to divide this by 2, and there's our answer, 36. And we don't need to redo all of that work. If we had the proper formula here, everything would just be times 1/2. We got her. The maximum rectangle with a diagonal of 12 would have an area 72, so the triangle would be 36. I'm cool with that if you are.